I never knew that I could do it as a career. I never knew. It was the first memory that I had. It's the first thing I can think of is saying, I want to be an actor, to my parents. And if I hadn't lived in Los Angeles and been in such close proximity to sort of the mecca of movie making, if I didn't have parents that said, okay, we'll drive you to auditions, we didn't have the economic means to, move camp from Idaho to Los Angeles because some snotty 10-year-old kid says, I want to be an actor. We did it, and after school I got to go on auditions, but it was always, and I've said this before, it felt like an elite group of people, and it felt like I would never belong to them. So once I got the opportunity to, for example, get the movie This Boy's Life with Robert De Niro, I said, wow, now I'm able to I might be able to steer the course of my career. I might be able to have a career similar to these guys that I so admire. And that I knew at 15 years old was the biggest gift in the world, and that's never left me. I've never that thirst or that hunger for wanting to give one great performance that I'm truly satisfied with, or be in one movie that I said, I love this film, is something that I don't know will ever be quenched. I don't know, and I think that's a good thing, because it keeps pushing you. You're constantly dissatisfied. In other words, it's a combination of being in the right place at the right time and being prepared for it, and being aggressive about it and sticking with it. I don't know. I'd done a lot of television and commercials before then, but it was really this one role that launched my career, and that was This Boy's Life. That was the truth of the matter. I was at the right place at the right time and aggressively going out on auditions. I just kept asking and asking and asking, and I remember my dad saying, just stick with it. Someday you'll have your day. And then I came back, I think, 2 years later, and finally got an agent, Harry Gold, with Bonnie Leike. Bonnie Leike was my first agent. Let's go for it. Let's just keep being aggressive and do it. It took a different attitude towards the audition process, and I started to get jobs after that. And I think it was really because I said to myself, I'm not dependent on this job. This isn't going to define me. And I started to sell myself less, prepare more for the roles, really investigate the characters as much as I could, and not feel like, my self-worth was dependent on whether I booked the job or not. Having come from, straight from a sitcom where everything was very relaxed on set, everyone was constantly joking around, to having, De Niro walk on set, and the difference, the sort of dynamic and presence that he had with the crew was just, I was like, what is going on here? I don't quite fathom what everyone's so serious about. And then I saw him sort of go through his process, the improv, just the technical work was just something that I witnessed every single day, and really, really blew me away. Because I didn't know how to conduct myself on a set. I was just sort of a wild animal, and it was really Michael Caton Jones that gave me some of these incredible fundamentals about making a movie. Every time I would sort of, get tired of a scene or not want to persist, you go, pain is temporary, film is forever. You go back in there and you give it everything you possibly can. It hadn't come out yet, but there was this one role that I wanted to play desperately, but I started to get, offers for other movies, and there was a big Disney movie that they wanted me to do, and I don't know where I got those little balls at 16 years old to say, no, I'm gonna wait it out because I want to audition for this other film. But if there's one thing that I'm really proud of in my entire career, it's that moment at 16 to say that, and do that and have that sort of conviction of what I wanted to do. That's the one thing I'm really proud of. I'm going to go to a home in Austin, Texas, and spend some time with some kids who have mental disabilities, and I spent about a week there, and I remember coming to him with this checklist, and it was like 100 different little attributes that I learned from hanging out with these kids, And I said, will you just show me what you want me to do? He's like, no, why don't you just act those out? So I did all of them. I said, I think I'm thinking of 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 24. And he's like, okay, you do that. And things accelerated after that for me, for sure. When I really said to myself, okay, here I am with this incredible opportunity. What am I going to do with it? What am I going to do? People dream about being in a position where they can finance a film based on their name. And I said to myself, all right, let's go back to the drawing board, so to speak, and now you can make movies that you want. And not that Titanic wasn't something that I wanted to do, but you can really be in control of your career like never before. You can develop things and seek things out that are interesting to you and pursue them and get them financed. I jumped out of the airplane, and then my first chute didn't open. It's tandem, so somebody's on your back. They cut that line. We started free falling towards Earth, and that's when you get the 8x10 glossies of your whole life flashing before your eyes. And then the second one was tangled as well, and I saw my friends sort of popping off with their parachutes, and I'm still plummeting towards planet Earth. And then that was tangled for about a good, 20, 30 seconds, and then he untangled it, and then he told me, oh, you're probably gonna break your legs now because we're going too fast. So it was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I'll never do it again.
And did you break your legs?
I did not break my legs.
Wow, so he's whispering in your ear, or yelling
in your ear.
Screaming in your ear. You're gonna break your legs.
You're gonna break your legs.
What? I can't hear you! Wow, that's just horrible. So what's the scariest thing you've ever done?
I was on a plane to Russia, and the engine exploded. I was looking out the window, and the entire engine just turned into a fireball. It was right after Sully had that incident happen to him where the geese flew into both engines.
And he landed on the river?
This happened in one of the engines, and I was the only person there that seemed to see this, but it was a flaming fireball. And it was all Russian passengers, and I kind of felt like I'd already died and gone to heaven because no one said anything. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs saying, what the hell is going on here? And these people just kind of looked back to me, and the stewardess came out and said, we seem to have a slight problem here. And the Russian guy finally said, what is the problem? And I said, well, we lost one of our engines. And he goes, how many engines did we have? He goes, well, we had 2. Now we have 1.